When I decided to come to New York and play for the New York Rangers, I came with one purpose and one purpose only. Trying to end a 54-year Stanley Cup drought.
I felt in my heart that we were a good enough team to win the Stanley Cup that year.
The Rangers will finish first overall.
All right, welcome back to GMA3. That is a look at NHL great Mark Messier and a brand new Prime Video series called Game 7. Taking a look back at some of the most iconic moments in sports history with the icons themselves.
And Messier has six, count them, Stanley Cup wins under his belt and 25 seasons in the NHL with the Edmonton Oilers, the Vancouver Canucks, and of course, the New York Rangers. Please welcome Hockey Hall of Famer Mark Messier.
The legend.
Great to be here,
man.
It's great to be here.
You have Game 7 on your hat.
I do.
When you think of those two words, Game 7, what does that make you think of?
The two greatest words in sports. It's two iconic words in sports. It's a lifetime of commitment and achievement to be able to perform when the pressures are highest, and you do that by learning skills along your career to ultimately that when you're put in that position, you have the wherewithal and the tools to be able to perform when it matters most. And it's not easy, and there's a lot of failings along the way, but the journey itself is really what I think about when I think about Game 7 for me personally.
It's all about the journey. What was it like working with Danny DeVito, and how did that come about?
Amazing. Well, he's great friends with my partner, Isaac Chira. They've been great friends for a long time, and when Isaac mentioned that what we were doing with Game 7, Danny says, well, I have a Game 7 moment myself. and he told the story about when he was cutting hair in New Jersey, and he got the call to audition for Taxi, so it was a life-changing opportunity. He had to perform when it mattered most, so when he went into the audition and everybody was sitting there waiting for him to start, he looked at everybody, took the script and ripped it in half and threw it back at him and said, who wrote this garbage? And they go, you're Louis De Palma, you're the guy. And so he said, that was my Game 7 moment. I had to perform under pressure. So everybody in life can have a Game 7 moment, and that's really what our brand is built on.
I love that.
I can't imagine how hard it was to choose the specific Game 7 moments for this series, but one of them that you chose happened 21 years ago this week. Sox versus Yankees, tied at 5, Game 7. Why was this one so special?
Well, I think any time that you get into a series of that magnitude, the World Series, Stanley Cup, NBA championship, both teams obviously are very close, closely matched. And to be able to slow things down, be absolutely present in the moment, see the pitch, and then to be able to hit the ball and as for a home run in Game 7, it's just such an incredible moment, not only for Aaron himself, but for the entire Yankees, organization, and of course all the Yankee fans around the world. But to do it in that moment when the pressure's that high, this is the greatest form of reality TV, if you really think about it, sports. And you don't even have to be a sport fan when there's a Game 7 on to ask your friends, where are you going to watch Game 7? And everybody's going to watch Game 7, whether you're a fan or not. But that moment in New York history will live forever.
And when you look back at all this footage, all of your career wins, personally, what has it meant for you?
Well, I think for me, it's a lifetime commitment, like I was saying earlier. It's, you're so blessed to be able to play the sport to begin with. And then when you realize that you're good enough to play the sport, then you got to figure out how to be a great teammate. And then in order to be a champion in your own sport, there's a lot that goes into not only honing your skills and playing your part and playing your role on the team, but also, what kind of player you are, what kind of teammate you are. There's a lot of spirituality that lives inside a sport locker room, and tapping into all that emotion and bringing all that talent to a forefront, and the work that it takes to bring and galvanize the team together. When it does work, it's amazing, and that's what we, as athletes, that's what we work our whole careers on, is those defining moments like Aaron had in that Game 7 moment. We lived that out in our driveways our entire lives, and when it actually happens at that level there, it's actually incredibly powerful, not only for himself, but his teammates and everybody that spends so much time and resources to put the team in that position.
Well, we were blessed to have you here today. I know a lot of people were really excited you were in the studio. Mark Messier, thank you so much. Game 7 premieres on October 22nd exclusively on Prime Video.
Good to be sitting next to a legend, my man.
Thank you, folks.